Today, we're breaking down what was, without a doubt, one of the most thrilling, totally exhausting, and highly controversial quarterfinal clashes of the 2026 World Cup, live from Kansas City Stadium. How did a controversial red card define the most thrilling quarterfinal of 2026? Okay, let's dive into this because the visceral thrill and those incredibly high stakes of this dramatic matchup between defending champs Argentina and a super resilient Switzerland, well, it gives us a whole lot to unpack. Act 1, the dream start. Setting the scene here, it's a packed, completely electric Kansas City Stadium, and defending champions Argentina wasted absolutely no time asserting their early dominance. Things moved incredibly fast. Literally, from kickoff, it took merely 10 minutes for Argentina to strike. The maestro himself, Lionel Messi, was already picking out spaces on the wing, completely bypassing the Swiss midfield block to float this perfect cross right into the box. This early surge of momentum and just total control of possession carried them comfortably all the way to the halftime break. Let's actually break down exactly how that 10th minute opening goal happened. It started with Messi's perfectly floated wing cross, sure, but the absolutely crucial point here is Alexis Mac Allister's brilliantly timed run. He read the play perfectly, stepping into space to send a firm header right past the Swiss goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel. I mean, it was textbook execution that put Argentina comfortably ahead 1-0 going into the half. But, football is famously a game of two halves. We go from Argentina's comfortable first-half lead to this completely different, ultra-high-pressure tactical energy from Switzerland straight out of the locker room. The Europeans totally adjusted their setup. They decided to take a massive tactical risk, pushing an intense high press directly onto Argentina's midfield, just to disrupt their rhythm, fully knowing it could leave them really vulnerable at the back. And you know what? This aggressive tactical adjustment immediately started to pay off. That relentless pressure stifled Argentina's passing lanes, and by the 67th minute, that calculated risk resulted in a massive Swiss breakthrough. Ricardo Rodriguez managed to unlock the Argentine defense, leading us right toward a major turning point. Right at that 67-minute mark, an accurate slicing through ball from Rodriguez found Dan Ndoye, who expertly slotted it home from close range. And just like that, the high-pressure strategy had worked perfectly. The game was tied up at 1-1. Act 2, the turning point. So just 5 minutes after that equalizer, we hit a highly contentious moment that honestly changed the entire complexion of the match. It all comes down to simulation. Now, simulation is attempting to deceive the referee by feigning injury, or as most of us call it, diving. Swiss forward Breel Embolo, who was already on a yellow card, went down inside the box, and after a highly controversial VR review, the referee determined he took a dive. Consequently, Embolo received a second yellow card and was sent straight off the pitch. Look, regardless of the intense debate surrounding the call, the referee's decision was final and the structural impact on the game was immediate. 10. That is the number of men Switzerland had left on the field. Now, being down a man against the defending World Cup champions, that is usually an insurmountable disadvantage. Yet, remarkably, rather than collapsing, they put on an absolute defensive masterclass. Breaking down a disciplined 10-man low block is notoriously frustrating, even for the absolute best attacking teams in the world. But Switzerland absorbed the pressure. They deflected late attempts from Messi and somehow prevented a regular time winner, forcing the game past the 90-minute mark. Act 3, extra time drama. Deadlocked at 1-1 after 90 grueling minutes, the whole stadium basically held its breath for another exhausting 30 minutes of football. And this critical question hung over the stadium. Could a fatigued 10-man Switzerland actually survive until penalty kicks? They had already shown immense character and sheer determination, and their incredibly compact defensive posture made it abundantly clear that their main objective right now was to drag this match all the way to a shootout. From the 90th minute start, the Swiss defense held incredibly strong for over 20 agonizing minutes. It was wild. But right at the 112-minute mark, Argentina's lethal bench depth finally broke the exhausted Swiss resistance, pushing the game toward its frantic final seconds. Let's dissect that crucial, match-altering strike. It began with a precise pass by substitute José Manuel Lopez. Julián Álvarez received it right at the edge of the penalty box, took a couple of quick setup touches, and then unleashed an absolutely sensational right-footed curl straight into the top corner. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Argentina's squad depth is so dangerous. That beautiful strike not only restored their lead at 2-1, but also finally ended Alvarez's World Cup goal drought in just spectacular fashion. Now, as the urgency ramps up and the 115th minute passes, Swiss desperation truly sets in. By the 120th minute, with the final seconds ticking away, they threw absolutely everyone forward in a frantic search for a miracle equalizer. And in the 120th plus 1 minute, that massive tactical risk opened the door for a brutal final counterattack. Let's walk through this final devastating sequence step by step. First, the Swiss keeper, Gregor Kobel, pushes all the way forward for the attack, leaving his net completely exposed. I mean, it is absolute chaos at the back. Next, Argentina easily capitalizes on the open space as Thiago Almada breaks away. His shot is desperately parried by Kobel, who somehow tracked all the way back. But finally, Lautaro Martínez is perfectly positioned to just tap that rebound straight into the empty net. 3-1. That is the final score that officially sealed Argentina's hard-fought place in the semifinals. It was a dramatic, completely exhausting victory that tested everything the defending champions had to offer, against a deeply, deeply resilient Swiss squad. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought for today's. With a blockbuster semifinal clash against England up next, does this fatigued Argentine squad have enough left in the tank? That is the big question. They survived a grueling, physical 120-minute battle, but to defend their World Cup crown, they are going to have to recover incredibly fast. Thank you so much for joining me today.